Hey everybody. So on one of my most recent videos, I asked viewers to give me their best carries in Pokemon Rogue to just try out a few things. And obviously, I don't have everything that is available. But one thing that I did have, when viewers recommended, was Bitter Blade Charizard. And I thought, let's give this a try. So this is going to be an abbreviated run of what happened when I used Bitter Blade Charizard. And so I don't waste everybody's time, I'm just going to start at floor 50 with Charizard fully evolved. One of the most important things to get this going was to just keep picking biomes where I knew I could succeed. And that sounds obvious, but I didn't realize until I started running this how many places that a Charizard is strong. Like his typing is good in jungle, meadow, grass. Like it's good in so many easy, common to get to areas. And I was able to just kind of push for a while. I also on this team have the Shiny Eradicate and the Shiny Bidoof, my cheap Shiny bros for life. Put them on every team to get that good luck. Even still, I didn't have the best luck this run, but I think it was alright. Now for some reason, Charizard just learned some truly awful moves like Scary Face here. I don't know why. Like I'm almost happy already with what I have. You'll see later on I do switch out almost every move on that list except for Bitter Blade, but all for much better options, I think. During this run, I actually had really crazy luck with fairy types, except for this Gardevoir where it just took every ball I had and it kept healing itself, and I didn't want to just kill it, and I was in this sweet spot where I had to just keep smoke screening it and force palming it and just trying to like not finish it off. And I actually started wiping my team, which I'm sure a lot of players can relate to when you really want to catch something badly, and then you just like sacrifice half your team to get it. I lost track of how many balls I threw here. I think it's 10 Ultra Balls in total. But I did eventually get it on the 10th Ultra Ball, and even though it was great, I decided not to keep it for this run. All those stats are wonderful, and I'm probably going to make a Gardevoir run sometime in the future. I tried Glade once, didn't like it, but Gardevoir I still have not really pushed. Ivy, honestly, this run was an absolute pushover. Her team is very grass heavy and all fairly weak to my Charizard, except for this fat Aerodactyl that she had that gave me a tiny bit of trouble. But in the end, my Hariyama was able to just kind of beat it up. Jumping ahead a few levels, I was lucky enough to find a Sylveon, and after a little bit of a close battle here, I was able to catch it. This thing I decided to keep, and I think it's actually going to be really helpful to the team, and as you'll see later on, it does get me out of a couple of type binds. To make room, though, I did have to get rid of Combee, and I think it was worth it, although later on I did kind of miss the money. I just realized 3 minutes in, I haven't even showed you the Bitter Blade Charizard doing his work. Beat Lenora on Meadow 60, no problem there. Charizard still hasn't really reached his max potential, though. He will get Dragon Dance soon, and that's when this like build really kind of wakes up. So up next, I went to the grassy field, where this Charizard was just able to absolutely sweep for a while. I don't know if I even lost it once here. I almost one-shots everything. You can see this Lilligant somehow survives, which is silly, looking at the levels and everything here, but it worked out good because I wanted to catch one anyways. But watch what this Charizard is able to do against a Venusaur here. I actually wanted to catch this thing, and I really thought it was going to be tankier, and it went down like nothing at all. And the constant healing from Bitter Blade is so nice. Like, just the amount I saved on potions on this carry was fantastic. And I just know somebody in the comments is going to be like, fantastic, fantastic. This guy says fantastic too much. And I think that's fantastic. You guys get to do that. Now, I had a chance here to learn Flare Bits, and I decided not to in the end. My Charizard actually has a special attack nature, so this build could have been even better, and I just didn't think there was necessary to have 2 physical attacking moves. Correct that, because I did keep Dragon Claw as a physical attacking move. I upgraded Dragon Breath to Dragon Claw, and later on I think that shows to be the right choice. Because shortly later, I pick up the Dragon Dance TM, and really, this is where the run starts to get kind of crazy. Being able to stack up 1, 2, or 5 of these makes a huge difference and lets me sweep entire teams. I did find that sometimes in later fights that I would die too quickly, and it was a little difficult to set up. But Dragon Dance is just so good with this build. It's basically a need to have. For the 80s floors, I went to the Tall Grass, where I absolutely swept everything between my Fearow and my Charizard. Section is that I managed to get myself a protein, which, great, it helps. With that, I was able to just kind of speed run the rest of the 80s all the way up to, God, I can't pronounce this guy's name. I guess it's Brassius or Bracius. I should watch the anime to figure this thing out. And he went down just like everything else you'd think. Bitter Blade once for Bramblegast, 2 for Arbolive. I think there's 2 for Blossom here. Yeah, 2 for Blossom. But I managed to stack up a few Dragon Dances here because it couldn't do much against me, which is great. After that, I was able to just kind of sweep. Yeah, 1 for Shinotic. Guys, do I have the worst Pokemon pronunciations ever? Anyways, after that, went to a forest, another heavily grass biome. 95 is obviously my next shot with the rival Ivy, and this time I think I even had less trouble than before. The Aerodactyl went down really fast to Hariyama, but everything else kind of just goes the way I want to here, and even using my B squad, I'm able to just kind of clear through this pretty quickly. You can see in ultra speed, my Charizard is just chunking people. Quick pit stop here to hatch 5 eggs. I pulled nothing but common eggs this entire run, but Ice Beam, Lotad actually does kind of seem exciting, and the Stone Axe I got with this guy seems like it could be decent as well. The rest of them, absolute garbage, don't want to talk about it. For the next zone, I chose Jungle. I figured I'm going to get what I want here and be able to just keep going. You can see the items stacking up on my Charizard at this point. For some reason in the jungle, I just fought like 4 Zebstricas, and I really thought I was going to get paralyzed, but it worked out really well, and they never managed to do it. Otherwise, this could have actually been a really rough spot for my run with the flying type and paralysis and all of that. But it actually went pretty well, and I got so-so items from this zone. Now, the next zone was the first one where I didn't really have a choice. I ended up in the temple. And while it's not strictly bad for Charizard, there's a lot of things here that just coincidentally will have rock-type moves like Power Gem and stuff like that that can be kind of dangerous. I was able to do pretty well for a while here, but as you'll see, it starts to go a little rough. These Galactic Grunts are also kind of frustrating. Now, sometimes they did have Pokemon that were weak to me, but these Hisuian Arcanines were giving me a bit of trouble. The Quillfish, which for some reason is here as well. But even now, you can see the Bitter Blade still does a ton of damage, and I unfortunately misjudged how much I would take there, and I end up using my Reviver Seed way earlier on something totally stupid, and that's my bad. The best thing to come out of the Temple region was this Goldengo that I managed to catch. Even though it wasn't great stats and all that, and it's not perfect, it still was a nice addition to the team, and I'm always happy to have more candies for this guy, because I seem to just be having horrible luck with catching them and finding them. Now, the temple felt like it was just out to get me, because I just kept fighting grunt after grunt after grunt, and eventually I had to fight Cyrus, and he opens up with the Basculegion, which is such a hard counter to my Charizard. I ended up just sacrificing Goldengo to get a clean start on this match, and it was still a bit of a tough fight here. Once Basculegion was out of the way, though, the fight got a lot easier. You'll see something fun kind of happens here. I send out the Charizard against the Weavile, and he just keeps trying to use Sucker Punch and letting me just stack Dragon Dances. And I think after the 3rd Sucker Punch here, he's going to start using Protect instead, and it is actually just kind of hilarious here. I wish I had remembered to press C to show you guys how many stacks I have, because I've already lost count, but this is going to be kaboom. And the rest of this fight just kind of keeps going like that. I'm alternating between Dragon Claw or Bitter Blade to just sweep through everything, including the Mesprit there. After the fight's over, I kind of just keep pushing it for a while, because I have so many stacks at this point. It doesn't matter what move I use or what typing, I'm just going to beat whatever I hit. But then things started to go bad for me. I had to fight Fantina here, and my team was just not ready for what this thing can do to me. I tried to go with the Dragon Dance strategy again, and even Dragon Dance plus Bitter Blade, this thing was able to take me out. And then I didn't have an Ether for Bitter Blade, because I was not smart and I was feeling overconfident and I didn't want to spend my money. And I ultimately pay for it here. I fought this fight so many times trying to just get it right, and eventually I just got mad at it and I turned it off. I'm sure if I put my head down and I ground out the exact perfect sequence, I probably could have figured this out. But at this point, I was pretty happy with the way the build had worked out for me, and I think I'm going to try it again later on. I definitely need to get an attack nature Charizard if I'm going to make this work. And I think I would like to get some more luck with items. The original person who posted this build had included the King's Rock in the build as well, and I never came across one of those. And if you look at the top, I also have a Dynamax band. I never got to use that either. So I think this build had a lot more potential, and I just made a silly mistake and did not want to start over with it. So check your stable, whatever you want to call it, check your box, and see if you have Bitter Blade on a Charmander, or basically any fire-type. Bitter Blade's amazing. Give it a whirl. Highly recommend this. Thank you for sticking it out to the end. You can like the video, that would be great, or you can just go watch another video, that would be better.